There we go. Recording now.
Oh, okay, we good?
Yeah.
Okay. Hey everyone. So right now I just want to go over that Boeing call that happened yesterday and just how it kind of showed itself on the charts. Now these lines I drew here were not here at the time. Like I'm not drawing support and resistance lines right now with these charts because the market just doesn't always abide by them at this moment. So I just drew them here just to show you that there's general support and resistance in these areas. So for this Boeing play, it was a general take that the market is going to want to stay slightly bullish. And I was more bearish, but I heeded, luckily in voice chat, what user was talking about and his bullishness in the market. I listened to it and I saw, okay, Boeing's going to want to do the same thing it did the last couple of days, which likes to just pump, stagnate, pump, curl, stagnate, just pump. It's been just following these patterns. It'll just pump, come down, curl, pump, come down, curl, pump, and then sometimes they'll just stagnate a little, drop, stagnate, and they'll just get curls for these sharp pumps and increases, and that's what I was trying to catch. So for Boeing, that's exactly what happened, and it was actually a really beautiful chart right here. You see this curl, zoom into it. It had that initial sell-off, of course, but of course it bounced right back very strongly from this resistance line. It was a long-term resistance line from back in the day, I noticed, so that was a good indication that it had strong momentum to want to stay bullish along with the market. The market did trade sideways. As we can see, this is a SPY chart, and it did just trade sideways, but for some reason the Dow Jones wanted to continue going up. So it was pretty nice to see Boeing playing similarly to what it was doing, just having its pumps. And at this point in time is when we had the call. It had this extremely beautiful curl. You can just see it slow down a momentum for the bears and slowly pick up for the bulls, just to have its, once again, pump in this wide trading range it's been going through. It's opened at 172 and it dropped all the way to what down here, 155. That's huge range. Volatility, that's what we're looking for in the options market. So basing off of that, we caught this initial pump, and at this point in time, we were already up 40%. At least I was with my call. I did a farther out call simply because it was cheaper, and I was using one of my other smaller accounts. So I wanted to keep my risk management generally equal to about 30% of my account. So I bought that cheap call, and we had a 40% pump on it just there. Of course, throughout the day, we started losing momentum, and it did go negative, but that's what we went with the whole diamond hands. Market's going to want to stay bullish today. It's what it's wanting to do. It's playing into the stimulus. We were playing the rumor of the stimulus being passed, not the news that it is passed. What I've learned in the market is you play the rumor, sell the news. That's exactly what we did. So we were playing the rumor that the stimulus is going to be passed. It was going to the Senate, going to Congress. Once again, we had a nice clean rejection at this point right here, which is why I drew this resistance support line. Very nice rejection to a good pump, leading up into a bigger pump. Once again, hitting profits slightly, but just holding for it to get even more. We had a wider range to go. I was personally looking for this up here. That's why I drew this line right here, 169. I wanted Boeing to hit 169, which later in the day, guess what it finally did? It pretty much hit 169, almost hit that resistance, but not quite. So this is where you could have kept holding if you wanted to, sold, whatever you wanted to do. What time did I sell it at? It's a good question. Small account, monitor. Oh, wait. It doesn't show for today. Oh, well. Yeah, and so we were able to sell it for a 54% profit, at least for my contract. And that's why we played that. We were able to catch this very nice rejection showing, okay, it has very strong support here, and this nice curl showing for an uptrend. And throughout the day, we became bullish on the market intraday, which is just playing off the rear.
You entered it around, 2:04 my time, so I don't know what time that is. That's just what time the Discord message got posted.
Yeah, okay, here we go. Yeah, 8:30. 8:52, right there. 8:52. Actually missed the even bigger pump. This would have actually been not nicer, literally 3 minutes later. So hopefully someone caught that. Yeah, so that's generally how I was following it with Boeing, was just going back to how it's been playing the last couple of days. We have these stagnation periods, these curl periods, little consolidation, just for these sharp pumps to come, sharp dumps and then pumps. That's just how it's been ranging based off of what the stimulus bill. It was based off of getting bailout money. People were betting on it. So that's what caused these sharp, jagged increases and decreases. I suspect that we're just going to start seeing decreases from now, because with how the numbers for Corona is going and everything, I don't see anything good happening for the airline industry in the next, couple months. But take that as you will. But yeah, a couple of days, it's been doing the same thing, just consolidating, dump, sharp increases, dump, just having these wide rejections. That's what I wanted to play off of, because sooner or later, these wide rejections break through. And of course, with those sell-offs, oh man. And then other than that, I wanted to go over real quick, scanners. This is TradingView, screener, stock screener. Very cool, simple to use. Here I have it set up. They already have pre-filtered ones for you. Most volatile. This is good if you like to look at pre-market volatility. The thing is with these scanners is they only work, simply right before market opens, because you want to catch all pre-market activity. It doesn't work to see what's going to happen in the future. But along with that, you can even create more filters for it. So if you do want to look for those volatile stocks, which some of them we've seen here, tops, I don't know if you guys even looked at that. I looked at that after seeing this, and it went from like 0.007 to 0.23. It was a huge increase. I don't know, it's crazy. But what I like to do is actually filter volume. I don't like to look for super, super low volume stocks, because that's just like low share float, low volume. Sometimes they just don't move. That's just not my type of trading. Though if you do like penny stocks, you can go through and look for share floats, change the number of actual shares that are floating around, which is great, because the less shares floating around, the sharper movements you'll see in the stock. But look at all these different things you can actually add to the scanner. You can design it by simple moving averages, stochastic percentage, anything you want to do. So you can customize the scanner to actually go based off of a trading strategy or an algorithm you can set up yourself. But generally speaking, I'm just gonna go over the basics. Most volatile, you can say all-time high, any of them. You know what, I don't need to save that. So these are just hitting all-time highs. These are the ones that led volume. Tops, that's why I had such a huge increase.
Oh my.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Most volatile is nice. I just like to go in here, change this volume, and I'll say, oh crap, where'd it go? Descriptive. Last is above. I don't like trading penny stocks, so I'll at least go like $2, which means it'll cut off anything that's below $2. And so I'll only look at the stocks that are $2 and above. And from there, you can look at percent changes and actually sort by there, and you'll see some that maybe you'll notice or not, things like that. A lot of these right here, UVXY, huge changes, just volatility indexes, SQ Pro shares, shorting them. Oh, that's nice. These are just ways to actually just look for big movers, and being able to do it by different time frames too. So before market opens, look in the last, maybe 4 hours. What's been the biggest change in the last 4 hours before market opens? So you say you wake up 9 o'clock, market opens at 9:30. All right, market's already been trading for hours before that. Look at the 4-hour chart and see which stock has had the biggest change within that 4 hours. And then that's how you can see maybe what might be the most volatile stock to start looking at, to actually have plays similar to what user does. He looks at the volatility, and then you can go see if there's been news for it. Like, did they have earnings or anything like that? It's just a very simple, rudimentary way to actually find plays like that. Since right now, once this market clears up, when we get back into a nice steady increase with the bull market, you'll be able to look at different sort of settings and actually set, hey, things that are crossing into, new highs, breaking different moving averages, having different average volume increases, and then that's when you can start specifying like plays to see in the future. Technically, you can do it now. I myself don't have enough experience in a bear market to design the scanner for that, so I'm not even just going to bother at the moment. Rather, just try to learn from the psychology of everything going on. Just see how the market reacts to the news, and that's what I'm trying to learn from. But yeah, generally that's it. This is just SPY. That lotto ticket up here, this is where we caught it to just dump, expecting the market to potentially dump some more, because we can actually look at more Rona news. How do I move this thing out of the way?
Well,
Oh, there we go.
move up.
I figured it out. There's
Oh.
this little drop down thing that was like, stop sharing and stuff.
Oh yeah. So,
Just coronavirus
how long
stats.
do we hold on to lotto tickets?
Those, when you see profit that you like, hold on to it. The market could literally bounce back. We can see it shoot up after this from who knows what, if there's a cure announced tomorrow. But right now we're currently at 662,000 cases. It's just looking to climb. And I was looking at this closed cases graph and seeing how there was a bottoming, and just with the uptick in numbers, we are starting to kind of have an increase. So we'll see how globally the governments start to react. Japan was already talking about new stimulus bills.
And Nick had a question.
That. Oh yeah.
So yeah, essentially a lot of players just, you're still obviously looking for the same direction, but you're just buying a further out strike, so it's a cheaper contract. It's potentially riskier, I think, but you won't have as big returns as well because you're obviously investing a lot lower amounts. But it's nice to get, just some smaller profits. If especially if you don't have a bigger account. I know a lot of people in the group have had like $100 accounts and have played these lotto plays and actually made a decent amount of profit from them.
It's all about compounding, but these lotto plays are a way, like if you have excess, you have profit for the day and you want to do a lot of lotto play, go ahead. If you think, hey, something is really going to happen, such as I drew a lotto play based off of freaking dip coming in SPY. That's why I did. I had a strong conviction, so I was like, screw it, let's go with it. We all agreed, and we went in, and that's when you can just like kind of throw, okay, maybe put some in, but you have to be comfortable losing it. Like you could potentially lose it all easily. If it would just like shot up the other way, it would have just been gone, all of that. So you always have to be prepared to lose anything you throw in these lotto plays, because that's what it is. It's a lotto ticket. It's generally that Reddit YOLO call. It's just a lotto play. It's like, hey, I have a strong conviction. I'm throwing it all in. If I lose it, I lose it, because it's literally lose it all or profit.
Wobbly, 300 is a good starting amount, but there's not really a fixed good starting amount that you can start trading with. It all depends on obviously how much you're willing to risk. Like if you're putting 300 in there, just think about how you would feel if you lost all 300, because it is possible. As much as you see some people, you could lose all 300.
There's risk in the market, and it all comes with experience level. It all comes with timing, sometimes a little sprinkle of luck. Like it's just you never really know, but you learn with experience. So you do have to be very comfortable with what you put in about losing it. There's that strong possibility.
Because if you put 300 in and you're going to be really, really like dependent on making profits from it, and if you're going to be really upset if you lose that 300, obviously it's not nice to lose, but if you're going to be in a bad position from it, then them emotional losses are going to come a lot harder than if it's $300 you can afford to lose. And
Yep,
that's going to cause you issues with trading. If your emotions start kicking in, then you've got to essentially trade like a robot. As bad as it sounds, everyone has emotions. There's no way of stopping it, but if you can reduce it, certainly by trading with an amount that you're comfortable with losing, is a good way because you're not going to be really upset over taking those losses.
Oh, for like news sites, CNBC, they get breaking news. A lot of the times now I'm just watching freaking all the Senate hearings. I'm watching the coronavirus updates because that's what the market's doing. It's waiting for rumors. It's playing off of rumors, waiting for news, and then selling the news. So this is what we're looking for. This is what I'm trying to find is those rumors and what's going on. A lot of the rumors right now are just have turned very bearish rather than, oh, we're going to get big stimulus checks and stuff like that. Now we have them. And now all the rumors are just like, damn, this virus is hitting the global economy very, very hard. So until we see those numbers, and once those next unemployment numbers come out and say we're in double-digit million unemployment, like, yeah, that's going to be the news, and then we're going to react from that. So really, the rumor is just pricing in the news. And right now, we've priced in this stimulus rumor. Now we have it. Now the news. What do? We just sell off now, because what's the next rumor that's going to pump us? Are we going to start working on another stimulus bill right away? Or do we have a vaccine? Do we have a cure? Anything like that? This is just what the market's playing off of. Now, for those single stocks like Boeing and stuff like that, it's playing off base that, but also just its own little things. Even like biofarms, those are pumping and all that stuff. What's going on in the chat?
Does market move a lot during end of month, aka March 31st?
End of month play?
Don't know. You said does market move a lot during EOM, presumably a month, aka 331st. Especially this month because it's the same time as Q1 ending.
You know what? Yeah, there is history to it, but right now it's not really playing based off that, because what's going on in the earnings market is everybody's pulling their guidance. People are going into earnings not even having guidance, because they have no idea how they're going to be affected by this. So I don't know how we're going to match that Q1 ending, every quarter ending right now with what's going on globally.
A lot of you that are new to trading as well, and are just getting into it, this isn't normal, this market. You're
Yeah.
probably very aware, but
Yeah, like we
it's
were due
really
a
not
recession
normal.
in time,
Yeah.
but this is not like this isn't something that's a natural economic recession. This is something that was onset by what's going on.
This was going to happen either from what's happened now or whether we waited out until the recession. This was going to happen. It's just figuring out whether the recession's going to hit it as hard as it would have if the market was still in a bull market.
Mhm.
Because we're already down so much, you might see that the recession might not be as bad for the market itself
Yeah,
due
I've
to
noticed that
the
too. Oh.
downfall that's already came from the virus.
Hmm.
Because if anyone here goes back and looks at the daily chart on most stocks and some currency pairs in forex, um, you'll see that there was a huge bull run, especially over the past year. Obviously, there was times where it came down. That's normal, but then you just see this huge plummet, and a lot of them are actually coming down below the last recession's um, what's it called, values. Especially like some currencies are actually a lot weaker now than they were. This just
Hmm.
shows how much a world pandemic like this really does affect the market.
Right here, back in September, October of 2018, we had a big 20% drop, but we recovered it from it. We've had little drops from then, little trade wars happening here and there. Well, this was pretty much part of it with some other stuff. But
But
right
overall,
now, where did we hit? We hit a 34% drop. Was that the end of it? Down there? Not even. Here, I could fix this. Bam, 35% drop. And from there, that bottom right there, that last wick, we have recovered about 20%. Now, what I want to show you guys is that could potentially be the topping or just a pause. We could see more upside because right here we've recovered about 20%. Back in 2008, that last great financial recession, what had happened was, oh, I passed it. What the hell am I doing? Let me remove VWAP and all this crap. Even volume. What do we see? We saw from the topping up here all the way down here was a total of a 57% decrease. We've only had in the 30s. And we've had recoveries through here too. Bam. We hit down here is 10%. We thought we were good. Bounced back 8% just to come back down. What? Boom, 17%. Try to bounce back. But even from there, we keep going. We keep going. Right here's a 17%. Climb back 13%. We've had these climb backs and dips throughout all these recessions. And this was the big one, 2008. So we can see that it follows patterns. Like we have stimulus is coming in, good news, bam, but then bad news comes and it just drops more. So you never know. That's just what I'm basing this one off of. But this is more rapid just because of I feel like the market was still overvalued. And we were due for a recession, but this just happened to be a huge shock to the market with just
Hmm.
everybody shutting down.
Well, a lot of people don't realize is prices usually set in, like they get set in quite quickly, which is why you see such a huge drop so quickly. Like it's not gradual upside, gradual downside. Like the minute something bad like this happens, if you see how long it take, if you in the normal bull market, if you see how long it took to get that high and then how quick it came down, the prices get set really quickly, which is why it's dangerous to trade this market. Well, not dangerous if you know what you're doing, but swing plays aren't as common in this market because news can come out that you just technically being hidden from you in a way, and then all of a sudden it just gets brought out and it's your whole swing play fucked.
Similar to this, maybe someone wanted to swing SPY. Right here, they thought, hey, we're going to come back up. We're going to keep going up. And they hit this huge dip. This could have been the start of the trend down. We could have
Yeah,
seen this as the high. You see, we've been having these big ups, breath up, breath up, breath up. But what if we don't break this high? We start going back down. That's why swing plays in this market, just because of just the volatility. It could swing so fast. We just had 3 green days after how many red days, and just look at these ups and downs through the aftermarket, pre-market, just day to day. Huge gap ups, huge gaps everywhere.
but then
So you just got to be careful.
you just don't know what news is going to come out this week. You just don't know, do you? And
Hmm.
that's the dangerous thing. Like with the increase in cases in Corona, you don't have a clue. You know, some news could come out that countries are hiding figures or companies go bankrupt over stuff. It's like you just
Look
don't
at this
know.
wick. These wicks always come out of nowhere. See these? Like I don't know
Hmm.
how these things happen, but it's great. But yeah, definitely, we don't know what's going to start happening around the world. What if South America starts really getting hit? We haven't really seen it that bad down there, luckily, but maybe it's because of lack of testing, just like we had in the US. We didn't see it bad in
Hmm.
the US, so it was like, hey, now we got to test everybody, and
This is
now
why
we're
the
skyrocketing.
figures, like, don't just believe the figures you see because at the end of the day, not every single person is being tested. Like,
Then again, we don't want to be alarmist. We don't want to be crazy. We do want to
no.
just stay calm. This is something that happens. We do our best just to stay inside. Like the economy is going to get hit. Everyone will be okay. It's just this is all about taking the news that we're seeing and being able to, in a
Determine what's
way,
going to happen.
yeah, it might sound crappy, but profit from it. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, like generally speaking, this is what you're doing. If you trade in the stock market, you profit off of all kinds of news, whether it be war, um, good news. You could see, climate change, green energy adoption, play green stocks. You can do that. Biopharmaceuticals, you can play based off of cancer research and stuff like that. So there's good and bad news you can play off of.
Does anyone else have any questions? This one's definitely going to be shorter than the last call. But if anyone has any
Mhm.
questions, you can
I
you can
did
ask
want to
us.
show Dr. New Guy. You're here, right? You want to see a quick Thinkorswim scanner? All right. All right. So in Thinkorswim, there's actually a couple of different things you can do. You can actually scan single option contracts for different types of things you're looking for based off of theta, delta, gamma, vega. You can theta scalp. There's so many different sorts of strategies you can play. You can spread hack. You can find actual profit, spreads based off the probability of profit, the maximum risk profit, all that stuff. But the basic stock one, if you want to look for pre-market gappers, also, is just like this. All a very rudimentary one. This is what I tried to explain in the last video that still hasn't come through. Is a three filter one, 2 stock filters in one study. All you need is stock price last. You have a minimum last price you're willing to base it off of. So let's say you want to play penny stocks, you'd say a minimum last is 10 cents. If you don't want to play penny stocks, you might say minimum last is $5 and up. Stock volume, you also want to look at volume. Pre-market volume is different from regular market volume. So depending on what you're looking for in volume, you can add another filter to look at share float if you're playing penny stocks for gappers. Um, there's a lot of other things you can add to it. So just look for a volume that you feel that you want to play off of based off of what you're seeing in that stock. Just because based off the number of shares there, all volume can act differently to the actual price. Um, then the last one, the study is price change. Price change one is over here in, where is it? Price performance, price change. And then what you do is the close price of each bar is at least, let's say 2% or greater than the last 10 bars. And so then what you can look at is you look at the last, let's say 5-minute bars. And so that means the last 10 bars times 5, that's 50 minutes. Or let's say you can go 10 minutes, and that's 100 minutes. That's how many bars it'll go back. It'll go back 10 bars, which covers 100 minutes. And then you can look at the volatility based off of that. If you want quick volatility for quick scalps, if you want longer term, like ranges that something's showing, you can base it off of that. And then you really just click scan and it'll find it for you. But really, this will only work at the time that you're using it. So you want to use it pre-market. You want to see how things are moving while the pre-market is developing. If you want to try to look at things based off of like previous day stuff like that, you would have to get into ThinkScript and actually start programming stuff. And I have not done that yet. I'm not that advanced in it. But generally speaking, that's a quick Thinkorswim volatility scanner.
Is there any other questions? We will probably make a guide for TOS mobile. I know a lot of people are requesting that. We'll make either a videoed guide or something with screenshots, but we will get that done. It's just quite hard to show over a stream,
Mm-hmm.
so maybe better to just video that so it's there for everyone. How do you feel about this upcoming week? Big sell-off. Obviously the USA have had a lot more cases of corona, especially over the past. Well, I think it's touched 115,000 now, hasn't it? So
Which is like pretty much went up 100 cases since the last time we looked at this page.
yeah, but
Look
saying
at
that
some,
with the past 3 green days, like Pumper said,
yeah.
you just don't know.
Like there's a general follow the trend, but
Yeah,
at the time there's also that
I know
the
Pumper's very bearish for this market this week.
historical reaction. Yeah, I mean, I'm generally speaking, the underlying economy should be bullish. The fact is, this corona's just completely flipped everything like
Can I
on its
draw on
ass.
your screen right there? I just
Hmm?
spotted something that's quite. I'm gonna see if I can draw on your screen because there's something that I've just seen on your screen. Anyway, right where your mouse is now on the left.
But
You see where it came down originally? It originally started to
here,
bearish pump, and then it started doing a little bullish movement,
right,
and then it came all the way back down again. We could just be
this
following a similar pattern now, and it could just plummet
exactly.
even more because the market is never straight up, straight down. It always has these little, especially with the amount of money that people are being pumped into the market by Fed. Um, this is what's causing these little pumps. Or say cases say the cases are quite steady, even though there's still a lot of cases. Say there's not a huge increase, then that's when you'll see maybe slight green days or there's underlying news. But
Boop. Fed
this
pumps.
could just be a tiny little retrace. Like I said, nothing's ever straight up, straight down. So we could just see a huge sell off again.
Oh, this was a huge sell-off. I think did we have a circuit breaker right here? But then it still ended green, so that's why it's like a green bar, but the green bar closed below the other green bar
Yeah,
close. Boop. And then, we could see big pump up here, but where do
we
we go
could
from here?
see, yeah.
Do
And with
we
being
come
such a big
here?
pump, we could see an even bigger sell off.
Yeah, do we go back or do we just, this would pretty much send us back into, a bullish trend.
Yeah,
But how much longer would that hold based off of what's really happening? And this is what I kind of see is we're going
yeah.
back down. Um,
You'll see that sort of pattern a lot in trading.
but something right now that a lot of people are trying to say is like, okay, now we've seen this thing, the stimulus is kind of pumped in, but for how long? What's going to happen for the next couple of days? We could see it go sideways a couple of days.
There's
That's
all
also possible.
you've got to look at the bigger factor and the smaller factors. Like the bigger factor is obviously this fucking virus, but the smaller factors are things like the stim. It's not so much smaller, but it's definitely smaller. The stimulus package and other varying factors about each stock itself. But if you've got to think how long can these factors hold the market up before the bigger factor, hence the virus, comes back into play and pumps it downwards
Mm-hmm.
because there's only so much it can hold the market before the bigger factor takes over,
Well, let's see this real quick.
and that's why you see these temporary retracements, even though it's an overall bearish trend.
Did we just bounce off the 0.38 retracement? Generally speaking, look at it right here from the high to the low. You're looking at a fib retracement. We could have a strong rejection right here.
Because look at the previous closing candle,
Or
it did start to show some downtrend from the previous open close. Sorry,
yeah, if we go to the low, like that's generally what we're looking at. This is what algorithms play off of, like a lot of institutions, hedge funds, stuff like that. People who are trading based off of strategies. These strategies like form and come together too at times. So
yeah.
what I like to do too is long-term swing plays, since a lot of like stocks like to keep a pattern. Like Disney had a pattern when it was in its bullish run that was pretty easy to tell until it broke that pattern from stupid earnings. um, they play to these strategies which are, you can see, happen time and time again. And so you see it bouncing off these resistance levels created by something like the Fibonacci sequence.
And that is possibly what might happen here because it got rejected there, like you just said, at that 0.7. I can't really read the numbers, but that 342.86, the blue one, got rejected there, and then that's where the more downside came. So we could just see a similar pattern here for more downside,
Mm-hmm.
which is why you could look at it both ways.
SPY early hours Friday. Oh yeah, let's look at that. Let's look at that. Bloop, bloop, bloop.
Example of horizontal movement. I think I was watching this chart. It was just trading sideways, wasn't it?
Oh, you know what? This one would be better to look at.
It wasn't showing any
Yeah, just
sign of movement, was it? It was just
even right here. Look at after hours on Friday. Look at this. It hit that low, and then it's just, look at this trade sideways. Like shit. Like where does it go? Showing a little bearish decline, but we'll see like if it breaks below this, like we can see more downside.
anyone else
Like
have
that.
any on a downtrend? Consolidation can indicate the start of a major dump. On an uptrend, the opposite. Is there any other
That's
questions? Go on. Anything else anyone
yeah.
wants us?
Wait, can't find a period in time when SPY went sideways, just to have like a general what it looks like. So this is a daily chart. We'll see it right here. Period in time when SPY went sideways. This is from April to July, and it just traded within this range of 206 to 2012. This is pretty much just sideways trading. I should take this to daily. Oh wait, inputs peak. It's just pretty much like, oh, well, whatever. This is pretty much like sideways trading. It's just going like back and forth before it finally breaks one way. And right here, it broke the support and just dumped. This is back in 2015. Like this is sideways trading, something like that, where it has like, it's just going in a channel. Oh, right here is a really good example. From July 16th to September. This is sideways trading. Look at this. Barely moved dollars. Dollar. Back and forth, back and forth. Oh, that's sideways trading.
So a lot of you are asking, we do call every day for market.
Oh, we
We
do.
we don't tend to call pre-market because of a bump of the highs very early. And users probably writing up his pre-market plan. So we tend to go and call, I believe, around 30 minutes before pre-market, depending, well, day to day varies. But if you guys think it's better, we could just use Zoom because I know it's a lot more stable.
Are you guys still going to be using the call like channels in Discord to make the signals or no?
Yeah, but
Okay.
we'll just move the live call over to Zoom
All right, cool.
just to make it more stable, and we could possibly even record, so we can reference it back to show, like, you
Yeah,
know
that's
what I
not a bad
mean.
idea.
So I could just record when plays are being made, and then we can go back and look and
Facts, yeah.
show, yeah.
Yeah, that'd be pretty cool.
Because I know recording it to my PC isn't bad at all. I don't have any limit on storage compared to cloud recording. I can just delete them after, let's say, like a week or two.
Mm-hmm.
You could just go
Also,
over it.
if you upload it, you could just have it saved permanently. So
Yeah, if I upload it to, like, I don't know, Mixer, something like that.
yeah, Mixer, even like a Google Drive would be fine.
Yeah.
If you do want to play pre-market and based off of user's pre-market plan, you can definitely follow that at the time he posts it. Because at the time he posts it is that timestamp for what's actually happening in the market.
Just speak.
So
Go
he
on, say what
does.
you say.
I was gonna say he does post it pretty early, yeah, as soon as like when he writes it up. So you can definitely do that.
Like I was gonna say then, just be careful when you're reading the pre-market plan, because if you read it when he posts it, and then you try to make plays off that during the day, I know he tends to edit them closer to pre-market if stuff changes. So just be careful. I'd say definitely just go over the play you're choosing and read it again just before market opens to make sure he hasn't edited anything. You'll know because it just has a little bracket edited beside it on Discord, but he does go back to edit it. But you can definitely make some really profitable plays off his pre-market plan, and it gives you incentive to learn rather than just blindly following signals. You can actually understand why he's making a play, if you read his pre-market plan and watch it play out.
Yes, you can definitely also incorporate your own strategy in it. So that's one of the key things too. So you can actually tell if that entry point is the best entry point, because right there it's just a general area, a really good area that indicates like, okay, this could be a good entry. But the market also plays off of the overall market. So if the overall market decides like, hey, instead of it rejecting here and going up, it wants to go down because everybody starts selling off, hey, it's going to go down. So using your own strategy too to recognize that is key to utilizing it to to its full advantage. You got to incorporate your own style too, and that's something you learn over time. Something you'll see as you study more, you learn more, you trade more. That's the goal.
Because we could post a signal blind and make you blindly follow it, but what you've got to understand is especially in this market, especially with the volatility of the market, by the time that signal's typed up, posted, the entry price is going to be so much different to the price that they posted it, the price there was when they found the entry they were looking for, essentially.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why being on call or reading pre-market plan allows you to, have more time to plan your trade, hence the plan, rather than just reading it and being like, oh yeah, this looks good. You'll learn more, and you'll be overall more profitable because you can set your own risk management. Because everyone has different amounts of risk. Like I know some people want these riskier plays with higher rewards. So if you read the pre-market plan, you can look at what he's posted, and then you can either turn it into a smaller play and maybe not take it down as far as he said in the plan, or you could look at taking it at a different entry and taking it further. It just gives you an idea of a play that you could make. You will learn more trading that way, and like I said, you'll be overall more profitable.
That's the goal. Consistent profits. Let's make this bread.
There's no point making profits if you don't understand how you're making them.
But pretty much this is sideways trading, intraday consolidation.
It was trade. SPY especially was trading sideways for quite a while.
Oh my gosh, SPY was just horrible. So throughout all like the history of SPY, we've never had freaking gaps.
If you have less than 25k, you get 3 day trades a week. How often are you guys holding your option overnight to avoid wasting a day trade? In this market, I mean,
that's what's called swing trading, and in this market, it's definitely you can try it, and if you're confident in your swing, then definitely. But the plays currently that are happening are mostly day trades.
If you look, well, a lot of you when you were in TTC, we did used to post a variety of trades, some with like maybe over a week out expiry, which is where you hold them. But in this market especially, all the pre-market plans are day trades, so only pick, depending on whether you've got a cash or margin account, make sure you're not opening 4 trades, because then you won't be able to close them all.
Yeah, Robinhood has it struggles with executions, and it is a little harder to put in the limit order to execute it fast. Webull is a little better. The thing with Webull is it has super long settling times. So if you want to start using for options soon, you have to like deposit it now. It takes about 5 days or so to get your money settled, and that's the only way you can actually trade options is once your money is settled. You can trade stocks. They'll let you use margin for stocks, but not for options.
Does anyone have any last questions before we wrap it up? Like I said, this is all recorded and will be uploaded maybe to Google Drive or Mixer. I'll just have a look after. I'll do it as soon as we get off, so that if you missed anything or if you maybe don't understand it, you can go back and look at it. And then if you have any questions, you can ask in Discord. So does anyone have any last questions? Well, like if any of you weren't here last week, we'll try to do this most weeks just to cover general questions and at least one trade from the week just gone.
Yeah, I don't see the point in having 2 cash accounts really. Like, instead, I'd rather have 1 cash account and 2 margin accounts,
Yeah.
Yeah. You want multiple margins, but really for cash, you only need 1. If you can find someone that settles next day, like Thinkorswim pretty much, like TD is pretty much almost next day settlement. Tastyworks I find to be next day settlement, so yeah.
So apart from that, I think we've covered what we wanted to cover.
I'll post some Thinkorswim tutorials if you want to actually. There's Thinkorswim has an educational section. If you want to learn how to use it, I definitely implore you to go through it and follow their instruction because they programmed it.
Yeah, we could show you a guide, but at the end of the day,
yeah, I'll just really quick. I'll just show you Thinkorswim education.
Oh, you can't send the link because
How to think or swim. This is it. So yeah, this is how you can really learn how to get started, learn the fundamentals. You can even learn how to trade. Like they have technical analysis. So definitely, I say use all the resources you can.
What do you think about Weeble? Isn't Weeble just like it's an updated user interface, and it's essentially Robinhood but with a much better back end to it.
Yeah, I just like the back end to it is a little better, but I wish it did have a little better user interface. But definitely, I'd say I don't know. Robinhood is it's just so nice. I hate it.
It's nice
But
looking.
Weeble,
It is
yeah,
nice
Weeble is
looking just to
cool.
see the especially when you get them success.
Hmm.
It is
And
nice looking.
I'll be doing a little Weeble video tutorial on how to place a options trade on the mobile app because it's easy to screen record that and stuff. And then sooner or later I'll be able to do it on my computer. So
One thing I wanted to ask people was someone said in the group the other day that people were getting emails from Robinhood with kind of like a reimbursement type thing regarding
yes.
the outage. Has anyone else had that here?
Oh, I want to show you guys. Oh, why didn't you go to Twitter? Stupid. This guy. Robinhood class action. He got blocked by Robinhood, but they're talking about that stuff.
Well, they're
I'll
building
show
a
you
case
guys.
against them.
Yeah, they're pretty much trying to build a case, and they said like this guy, he got one from them and trying to say, oh, pay us money, or we'll give you $75, and he was just like, I lost 1,000 because of you guys. So you can decline to sell. I guess people are trying to put a case against them. Yeah, you can follow his Twitter account, I guess, class Robinhood,
I'm actually going to do that right
Robinhood.
now. That's quite interesting.
Right? Um,
I'm sure they've got a huge terms and conditions and stuff to prevent stuff like this, but I mean, there's only so much it'll cover, I guess.
mhm. Yeah, if you want to do a cash account, I'd just straight up go for a real options platform like Tastyworks is just the website. Don't use the mobile app. I mean, if you can get used to the mobile app, damn, you're something. But just the website, I like using it because when I trade at work, it works perfectly. But think or swim. If you got a desktop, use think or swim for now as a cash account. Good to trade.
So yeah, I think we're good to end it here unless anyone else wants anything.
Wow, my spy puts. I'm up.
If anyone else has anything to ask, otherwise we'll probably just end it here, I guess. So any last minute questions? Yeah, I love you too, Doggo, don't worry.
I don't think we will really mess up. You can also short on it. I'm not sure where the locates are, if they're the best, but you can. You can do a lot more on Webull than you can on Robinhood. So just saying.
So thank you everyone for joining us.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, we'll make this try to make this a weekly thing, just to give people a better understanding of plays we made. But yeah, I'll send the recording later on when it gets uploaded. My internet's gone kind of slow because of this fucking virus. Everyone's at home, but it's quite late, so it should be all right. Yeah.
Spreads. They're cheaper for entry prices and they reduce your risk, but they also cap your profit.
Yeah.
How much? I had a little video. I'll upload it on how to do a quick little Robinhood spread, and it'll help you get an understanding. And I'll just post the material on it because
We
right
have
now actually
used
going through it would take too long.
we have used them before, Doggo. Pumpy used to post some spreads.
That was when the market started getting really shaky. I was like, nah.
So you'll definitely see when this market calms down. You'll definitely see a variety of plays from
Yeah,
us,
I'll,
rather
I'll
than just, especially I know in options, Pumper likes his swings. So yeah, thanks everyone for joining. Anyway, I'll send the recording when it's done.
Everyone,
Yeah,
have a good night.
you're very
Good weekend.
welcome.
Stay safe.
Enjoy
Get
your
ready for Monday.
weekend, and we'll be back on Monday.
Oh, yes. Oh, Bye bye.
Good night.
No.